Hey guys, Magnus here, and I'm bringing you another Walking Dead video. This one is not going to be a character profile video though, it's going to be a bit of a video essay slash quasi presentation that I have made just for you fine people. So, The Walking Dead Season 11 is already out. A lot of people have seen it, but it's not officially out until Sunday. And so I thought I'd do a video talking about my issues with The Walking Dead. Now, I don't think The Walking Dead is a perfect show. I don't think it's high art. I enjoy it because I think it's fun. I will be brutally honest with you. If I was to look at The Walking Dead with a critical eye, I probably wouldn't rate it so high. But I enjoy The Walking Dead just because I like zombie stuff and I really enjoy the show and I really enjoyed the comics and I grew up with the comics. So, of course, I like the show. Now, that being said, I think a true fan can criticize their show. And so today, I'm going to be levying what I think is one of the biggest reasons why I think The Walking Dead in the recent years has been a bit of an issue for me. And also the reasons why I'm really glad that Maggie is back. So let's get into it. So there has been a lot of deaths on the show. Notably, some of the biggest deaths have been Carl Grimes, which I still think is a mistake to this day that they decided to kill him off. Now, from everything I've read, it appears that it was a decision on the behalf of Scott Gimple. And I know everyone goes on a big Scott Gimple hate train and they say that Scott Gimple's like the worst showrunner or whatever. Scott Gimple was a good showrunner. He just made one really big bad mistake, and that was killing off Carl Grimes. And also the fact that he allowed Season 8 and the All Out War stuff to be an entire season. That was stupid. Because Season 8, my god, Season 8 is bad. It's the worst season by far because it's just pure action with no plot. Another one that people also cite as a kind of reason as to why The Walking Dead has declined is Glenn's death. Noah's just on this picture for the meme. But Glenn was a big death in the show, and it happened right after Abraham, of course, died. So we had two big characters die at once. And I actually think that this was sort of a mistake, but I will preface this by saying I think Glenn should have died. I think that was Glenn's death scene. I think the cliffhanger was a little bit cheap. I don't think it entirely ruined Season 6. I still think Season 6 is the best season. I know I don't know if that's controversial or not, but I think Season 6 is the best season. And Glenn's death, I think, was needed. I think we needed Glenn to die. I think it propels Maggie's character to be a bigger character. And also, he is the biggest death that we would have got until Carl came along. So it would have made it impactful, and it would have given a good enough reason for our characters to want to rebel against Negan eventually. Now, that being said, they shouldn't have killed Abraham. Abraham should not have died there. I think Abraham should have died later on. Maybe they could have given him what would have been Sasha's death. Maybe they could have kept him on right till this day. I don't know exactly what the right answer is, but I think Abraham should have not died in that episode. But there have been a lot of deaths, and death is a staple of the show, but I do feel that a lot of the deaths are done almost for shock. And I think death is part and parcel of the reason why I have not enjoyed the show lately, or I think the quality has declined a little bit. So I've been thinking, what exactly is the reason? Why have I not been enjoying the show so much? Because Season 8, I think, was a disaster, like I said. I think Season 8 was a terrible season. There was not much plot. But also, something that Season 8 did really badly, or I guess one bad result of Season 8 is that we lost both Morgan and Dwight as they ran off to go to the spin-off. Now, Dwight, I think, maybe we could not do without him. Maybe we could do without him. Morgan, though, he's a character from the very, very first season. I think him leaving and going off to the spin-off was really, I'm going to use this word again, was really cheap, and it was a desperate attempt to try and get more viewers to watch the spin-off, and I don't think it makes sense on a story standpoint. I think that show has absolutely destroyed Morgan's character, and it's a loss for the main show. That being said, again, I think Morgan should have got Carl's death. I just think it should have been a bit later. So I think that Morgan should have died in place of Carl, and Morgan should have told Rick, you've got to spare Negan, whatever, spare him, make an example of him, whatever you want to say, reform him. And then because of that, this is Rick's oldest friend. This is the guy who saved Rick in season 1. If it wasn't for Morgan, Rick would have died. He honors Morgan's memory by sparing Negan and putting him in jail. I think that just would have been a way better plot point than opposed to Carl dying. So that was what I personally think they should have done with Morgan, and Carl should have survived. But of course, in season 9, we lost Rick. Rick, of course, did not die, but the actor wanted to exit the show, and so he got helicopter lifted out of there. Now, supposedly, we're getting some Rick Grimes movies. I do believe they will come out, but they're obviously going to come out after the show has ended. So, in terms of the main show, the movies to me are kind of irrelevant. But I think season 9 was fine. I actually quite liked it. I think it was a vast improvement to season 8. Do I think it's the best the show has ever been? No. I think the best the show has ever been is season 4, season 5, but season 5 I do have issues with, and season 6. That's when the show was at its best. With season 3 as well, I think that started to pick up, but I also have issues with season 3. But I think season 4 and season 6 are excellent. And so I think the real peak of the show is season 6. Season 9, though, like I said, I did enjoy, but there was one issue with Season 9. We lost Maggie Ray. Maggie, of course, exited, as well as Rick. Now, luckily, the actor, or the character, I should say, was not killed off. She exited she was going to help Georgie off in some random communities. It was a weird thing, but I guess it kind of made sense, because Georgie seemed like a trustworthy person, so whatever, it's fine. And then Season 10 comes along. Season 10, I thought, was terrible, okay? I am not going to lie. I think all the momentum and the creepiness of the Whisperers had just dissipated by this point. I think the plot points were really contrived and annoying, like the whole cave storyline, the fact that Carol just was relentless in her revengeance, and her plan just didn't make sense. Like, if she sent Negan there to kill Alpha, why did she bother running after Alpha? Why did she bother, she already had a plan set up. I guess it kind of makes sense, she really wants revenge, but it was just so contrived and annoying. I think the latter half of season 10 is better, but it is, the first half I found was pretty bad. And also the Dante twist, I was like iffy on it at first. I kind of don't like the Dante twist. I think it's kind of boring. It's like people have been theorizing there's a spy for all this time, and then there was this random dude, and that was weird as well. Like, why did they let in people if the Whisperers were still out there? I don't know. Or like it was just, I wasn't a big fan of season 10. Basically, I thought it was a bit meh. But another kind of factor of season 10 is that we lost Michonne. So sadly, Michonne went off. I say sadly, she went off to go find Rick, and I think this is like the worst show exit ever. Rick, I mean, it makes sense. He's taken against his will. Maggie, yeah, I think it's reasonable. The community's safe and all, and she does take Herschel with her, and she trusts Georgie. So I guess it kind of makes sense. Michonne, oh my god. So she's going off on like a random mission to look for Rick. I get that she's found out Rick's alive, and I get that Judith kind of allows her to do so. It's like, you've got to find him. But I can't conceive of a mother leaving 2 of her children, one of which is a toddler, and going off to God knows where to find a man who she has believed to be dead for like 7 or 8 years. So those manky ass boots, that phone, they could have been there for years. Rick, for all she knew, could have died like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. He could have died at any point. He was taken. So her to go on this mission, especially since the Whisperers are still there. I know Judith does say, like, we've dealt with them, they're no longer a threat, so I guess Michonne knows. But the fact that she goes without even going to say goodbye to her children in the face, or to explain what it is to Daryl, or to maybe get some more people to help her with this mission, the fact that she just leaves flat out, out, I think is the most contrived, stupid, dumb thing that this show has ever done. I honestly think that Michonne's exit was terrible. Like, I thought that whole hallucination thing, the what if scenario, was kind of neat, but that episode itself was really bad. I hated that episode, and I hated Virgil. I hate that dude so much. Not even because I think he's like a bad dude. I just hate the character. It's written so poorly. It was just like, oh, we need a guy to like drug her and like lock her in a cell, but she needs a good reason, so he promises weapons, but there isn't any weapons, and he says he's got a family, but his family's dead. Oh, it's just so badly written. Michonne's exit was terrible. Sorry, little rant. But we've lost Michonne. I love Michonne. I think she's an amazing character. She's one of my favourites, but sadly, we lost her. So now we come into season 11, alright? We're coming into season 11, and I was thinking, we've got Maggie back now. At the end of season 10, she came back. We had the bonus episode with her as well. I'm glad that Maggie is back. That's awesome. But who have we got left from the first 6 seasons? What characters do we have that we have taken from previous seasons? So I thought we'd take a look at that. We've got Maggie back, of course, which is awesome. But what other characters do we still have? So let's go to season 1. What characters from season 1 do we have left? First up is Daryl, okay? Of course. Now Daryl, after Rick left, has kind of taken the protagonist standpoint, as well as another character, as well as Michonne, I guess, as well. Michonne, Daryl, and of course, Carol have taken the protagonist mantle. Like, they're all 3 of them are sort of the protagonist. Now Daryl, I think, is fine, right? I enjoy Daryl. I don't enjoy him as much as other people enjoy him. Some people are like uber Daryl fans. I had massive issues with Daryl in season 4, 5, and 6. I was a little like on his character. In season 8, he's awful. I hate him in season 8. I think he's a jerk. Like, season 9 and 10, I have grown to him. I actually think they have written him a bit better. I think him going off in the wilderness looking for Rick, that's really sad and really, I think, is a good progression for his character. I liked him sort of taking that kind of uncle standpoint with Henry. I really wish they continued to do that, but then I guess Lydia kind of took over that as well, so I think they've still got that aspect of Daryl where he's kind of like this uncle, and also with Judith as well. Judith's there as well, you know. Daryl is her sort of kind of uncle, I guess, like maybe adopted uncle if you want to call it like that. Like, I think that Daryl has greatly improved. So I like Daryl. I know that they're not going to kill him off. I know that he's going off in that spin-off show with Carol, so obviously he's totally safe. I think that is a detriment to his character. I think he's such a safe character that all stakes are removed anytime he's in like a fight or something. I really feel like Daryl is never... I know that Daryl's never going to die, right? So every scene with Daryl, I think there are like literal 0 stakes, which is kind of annoying. Don't get me wrong, the same thing is true of Rick, but I think at least with Rick, after they killed Carl, I was like, oh shit, and Rick was like announced to be leaving. I thought they were going to kill him off, because obviously the movies weren't announced at that point, so I thought they were going to kill Rick off when we were coming into season 9, but they didn't. Daryl, though, I do think, like I said, I think he's a fine character. Carol? So, I am a massive Carol lover. I love Carol. I think she probably is my favourite character if I were to track from season 1 all the way to season 11, which is my favourite character overall. I think, would say Carol. I do have issues with Carol, though. This is something you're gonna hear quite a lot. So, season 1, I think she's fine. She's a background character. She doesn't really do much, but kill her husband, I guess. Season 2, she's kind of all sad and depressed because her daughter's missing. Season 3, she's sort of in the background a little bit. You know, we see her killing zombies and stuff and helping the group, but she is sort of reserved to a background character in season 3. Season 4, she straight up murders Karen and David, burns their bodies, and is exiled from the prison. Oh, I love that storyline so much. I thought that was so great. And then she meets back up with Lizzie and Mika and Tyrese, and then she kills Lizzie, obviously, in the Grove. That episode was great. I would love Carol from then on. Then season 5 comes along. Terminus, that was awesome. The stuff with the hospital, not so awesome. The stuff with Alexandria, very awesome. Carol, like, taking this stealthy approach when she came into the new community, I thought that was awesome. Season 6, JSS with the wolves, loved it. Then the later part of season 6, where she kind of got a bit sad about all the people she's killed, and then she ends up leaving the group. A lot of fans didn't like this. I kind of digged it. I actually quite liked it. I think it makes some sense that Carol wants to stay away from people because she mentally, she's being scarred by the amount of people she's murdered. Like, that's going to take a toll on you, like, at some point. And I'm kind of glad that they actually looked at that with a character like her, because oftentimes, like, if you remember, like, Daryl's first human kill, it was just a random Woodbury dude, and he didn't have any, like, reaction to it. It was just kind of like, whatever. Rick's first human kills, the dudes in the bar, that had weight. That had, like, massive weight. But Daryl's didn't. And so I'm glad that they actually had, like, Carol, it start to burden her. I quite like that storyline, personally. And then you have the stuff with the Kingdom in Season 7, and then you have the stuff in Season 8, where she's just pretty much fighting. That's all she really does. And there's the stuff with Henry. And then Season 9, I like her in Season 9 well enough. And then Season 10, they ruin her character. Season 10, she's awful. I hate Carol in Season 10. Just like I hated Daryl in Season 8. But those are those two characters from Season 1. And something to note about both these characters is they both were not main characters in Season 1. I think Daryl is considered a recurring character, but Carol was pretty much just like a minor character, really, in Season 1. Daryl, I think, at least had some presence, but he wasn't even in the first 2 episodes, so we haven't literally got anyone from the first 2 Walking Dead episodes, which is a real shame, and that's partly because Rick's gone. So what characters do we have left from Season 2? We have Maggie. I think Maggie is not so amazing in Season... I'm trying to think what season. To be fair, no, I think I enjoyed Maggie in every season. I actually like Maggie a lot. I don't think I have any, like, major issues with her character. And I'm sure there's, like, a few things here and there, like, minor things. But I think for the most part, I enjoy her character quite a lot. So I am deeply glad that she is back. I don't think this season would be the same if they didn't get her back. I really would be worried after Michonne left. But I am pretty happy that Maggie is back in the show. That's for sure. Season 3. We've got Judith. That's the only character we've got left from Season 3. I shit you not. And this doesn't even count, really, because she was a baby in Season 3, and Season 4, and Season 5, and Season 6, and Season 7, and Season 8. So she only really got turned into a character in Season 9. Before, she was a plot device. So really, although technically she's a Season 3 character, really I kind of consider her a Season 9 character, because she doesn't have any character until Season 9. So I guess this kind of counts, but that's Judith. The only character from Season 3. We have one character from Season 3, who I will argue isn't even a character in Season 3. So basically, we've got no one left from Season 3 now. Not like we haven't for a long time, to be fair, because technically Michonne's a Season 2 character, because she appears right at the end. But yeah, Judith, gone. Well, not gone, but is the only one we have. So no one from Season 3. Okay, Season 4. Who do we have left from Season 4? Well, we have Eugene, and we have Rosita. That's it. So from Season 4, we have Eugene and Rosita. Now, Eugene, I have grown to him more in the last 2 seasons. Season 10 and 11, I should say, sorry. Season 10 and Season 11, I'm starting to grow to him more. Season 9, I was a little iffy with his character because of the stuff with Season 8. Now, in Season 8, of course, he betrays the group. Well, in Season 7, actually, he betrays the group, and he joins the Saviors. But right at the end, he redeems himself by blowing all the guns. However, I didn't really care, although, yeah, he saved the day, and yeah, they wouldn't have won without him. He had such a regression in his character arc from Season 6 that it just pissed me off. Now, in Season 6, if you guys remember, Eugene went out in All Way Out, and he started, killing the zombies and helping with that, which was really awesome. And then you start to see him, and he's got his hair tied back, and he's killing zombies, and he's acting like he's really tough, and he's standing up a lot. And there's a little story where, like, Eugene tries to kill a zombie, and Abraham kills it for him, and they kind of, like, fall out a little bit, because Abraham doesn't think that Eugene is like a survivor like him, And they have this little rivalry. And then Eugene, at the end of season 6, takes the RV and drives the RV to distract the saviors, knowing full well that this could be his end. Like, he could die. Like, he knows that could happen, that the saviors are tracking specifically the RV. And he gets beaten, and then he sees his friends die, and then eventually he just cowers to Negan. They completely regressed in his character arc. Now, that's fine, but it's fine for him to... Sorry, that's not fine. I didn't like that. But it's fine for him to join Negan. I just wish they didn't have that character arc where he kind of became tough and all that in season 6. They should have left that to a later season, so he betrays the group, and then eventually he turns into a badass survivor, and then maybe they could do that character arc within this thing of him being with Negan. Like, I don't know. Like, I just really hate the fact they regressed that. That's my biggest issue with Eugene. Apart from that, I like him. I think the way he talks is really stupid. I don't think anyone in their right mind talks that way. Like, I've never met someone who talks as stupid as Eugene talks in his manner of speaking. I think sometimes it can be kind of funny, but like, he does it to like such a level that I think it's really stupid. Like, I really wish they didn't. It's almost as bad. Actually, no, it's worse. It's as bad as the Jadis and the trash people talking like Yoda. I generally think Eugene's manner of speaking is as dumb as that. No one speaks like that. Rosita, I'll be frank with you, I don't know anything about Rosita. Like, what do we know about Rosita as a character? So we know that she had she was with some people before, and she learned some skills from them, and she was with Abraham. And, like, how did Abraham and Rosita met? No one really knows. How did Eugene and Rosita met? No one really knows. Well, I know that Eugene and Abraham would have met her together. And then we have this, like, okay, so what has Rosita done recently? Well, Rosita in season 5, 6 is pretty much just a background character. In season 7, she has the whole, I want to make a bullet to shoot Negan in the head, and that fails, and she gets Olivia killed. And then at the end of season 7, she gets shot. And also there's this stuff with Sasha as well, which I actually quite like that stuff with her and Sasha. That was cool. And then season 8, she was just shooting people, pretty much. She shot that one dude with the RPG, which was dumb. And she's just your resident badass. And then season 9... she doesn't really do much. She has the whole whisperer thing, I guess, where she hears the whisperers with Eugene, and then she loses those people, I guess. They die. And in season 10, she loses Sadiq and kills him and saves her baby Coco. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She has a baby as well. I love how irrelevant that baby is. Her baby is the most irrelevant baby in the show. Like, at least like Judith had a lot of weight. I don't know why they bothered with that story arc with the whole cheating thing, because it wasn't even a cheating thing. It was just that she was with with Sadiq before she was with Gabriel. So it wasn't even a cheating thing. I'm fine with them rewriting that. It did, like, Rosita in the comics, it does just feel like a slut, and like she's a slut just because she's hot. So I do think that deserved a rewrite. But Rosita's character, I think, is pretty blank slatey. Like, I don't really know that much about her. I think she's cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there's enough character to her. I think they really need to give us a story arc or something where it focuses on something that Rosita cares about. Like, what's her goals? What are her ideals? What does she like? What does she dislike? You know, these things, they're quite simple, but I don't really know if I know that much. Like, what are Rosita's goals? Does she just want a family? Does she want a bigger family? Does she think that having Coco was a mistake? I kind of get that impression, I guess, but I don't know. And so I think Eugene, you can clearly kind of see this. Like, Eugene's a thinker. He wants to meet this Stephanie girl, which is a big thing in season. You know, like, he has a goal every season. Rosita, though, I feel like has never really had much of a goal apart from killing Negan that one time, and she didn't even succeed in that. So yeah, Rosita, I think, is awesome, but lacking a lot of character. So that are the characters from season 4. Then we have season 5. First up, we have Gabriel. I actually, low-key, have no issues with Gabriel. I think he's awesome. They make you hate him in season 5. They make you start to love him in season 6. They make you really love him in season 7. They make you adore him in season 8. And in season 9, they reaffirm that this is now your favorite character. And season 10, they just hammer that nail a little bit further. All right, Gabriel, low-key, is, I think, the best character in the show. All right, after Carol. After Carol, Gabriel is my second favorite. I don't even care. I was sold on when that scene with him, the Whisperers, and he was like had the shotgun. I was like, oh boy, Gabriel. Now, I have actually liked Gabriel since season 5. I have actually enjoyed him since season 5. Now, a lot of people hated him. I kind of understood where he was coming from, right? I tried to sympathize with him, and I think it makes sense. A bunch of dudes came into his church. They did save his life, to be fair, but they came into his church and slaughtered people with machetes in the butt of their guns. Like, a massacre happened in this dude's fucking church, right? I can understand him thinking they the devil, right? And then he goes to Deanna and he says, yeah, these people are the devil. I understand exactly where he's coming from. Like, I think I would probably think these people were pretty mysterious. If I was a religious man, which I'm not, and these people slaughtered these people in my church, I would probably think they were the devil too. I'm not going to lie. Then he kind of has like a crisis of faith, I guess. He starts like there's that one dying dude which he kills, and then like he leaves the gate open, which I think was a bit contrived. That was a bit weird, but that's I guess my biggest issue with Gabriel's that one scene. In season 6, he starts standing up. You have the speech in the church where he helps with the No Way Out, and at the end of the season he guards Alexandria for Rick, which is really awesome. And then in season 7. You have the stuff with also the satellite outpost as well, where he shoots that one dude while saying a prayer. That was awesome. And season 7, he does the whole grave thing where he like pretends he makes sure that Maggie is appeared to be dead by digging like a fake grave, which was really awesome. Season 8, you have the stuff with him and Negan, which I actually really liked. I think it was a really weird character pair up, but I think it worked. And the other stuff in season 8, I mean, he pretty much just is a prisoner throughout all season 8. But I still think he was enjoyable in that season. Season 9, he goes into his sort of... We get to see him as of today. We have the stuff with him and Anne. And then later we see the stuff with him and Rosita. And that he's like a member of the council. And then in season 10, we have the Dante kill. Oh, the Dante kill is great. That's the one thing I liked from the Dante story arc, is Gabriel just slaughtering him. I, low-key, think Gabriel is the best character in the show. And... one of the best characters in the show. And then more recently, actually, we've been seeing a very dark side to Gabriel. He's kind of losing his faith, and he's becoming ever more violent, especially what we saw him with Maze, where he just killed that dude, even though he seemed to be kind of repenting, I guess, for his sins. Gabriel just killed him anyway. And so I think Gabriel's going down a dark path. I really hope they take it further. I want them to make Gabriel into kind of a villain, right? I think that could be interesting. Not a villain per se, but like someone who does things that he thinks are right, but it puts the group in a bad scenario. I really hope he doesn't just get killed off by the Reapers. I really am wishing they bring him into the Commonwealth stuff and he takes comic book Dwight's death. And you guys know what I'm talking about if you've read the comics. And then the other characters from season 5 we have is Aaron. Aaron, I know literally nothing about. I think Aaron is worse than Rosita. He comes on, he's this nice little dude. We learn that he's gay, which is cool, but we don't really learn anything about him. Like, what are his goals? What are his likes? What are his dislikes? Like, we get the sense he's a bit of an outcast, which I thought was kind of cool. I think Aaron's best characterization is generally in season 5. Season 6, he's pretty much just a background character. We have that stuff where he feels kind of guilty about leaving his backpack and the wolves coming in. But he doesn't do anything in season 6, really, of note, apart from he's in the lineup. Season 7, he doesn't really do much either. I can't think exactly what Aaron does in season 7 that's that noteworthy. Season 8, he loses Eric, which was a really emotional scene. I liked that. I think Aaron in that scene was awesome. And season 9, he loses his arm, and he also adopts Gracie in season 8 as well. But he loses his arm in season 9, which was now he looks cooler. And then in season 10, he helps with the Whisperers, and then there's that one with Gabriel, him and Gabriel. Like, I like Aaron a lot. I think Aaron can be cool, but I know nothing about Aaron. Actually, I don't even like Aaron that much. I don't think I would care that much if he died. I don't think there's much of an emotional investment in Aaron, is basically what I'm trying to say. I think we need to learn more about him. We need to focus on him more. We need to have maybe, not an episode with him, but like a B-plot where we focus on him, and maybe we learn something about his life, or maybe we learn something about what he strives for, or what he wants. Like, I presume he wants a family, maybe? Like, does he want a new boyfriend? Like, I don't know. I think we need to learn a bit more about Aaron. It's basically what I want to say. If you want to make the deaths more impactful, I think you've really got to, you've got to kill him off. A good example of this is a bit of a tangent, I apologize. Herschel. The reason why Herschel's death is such a heart, like, it really, like, strikes at the heart, is because we had all those episodes before where Herschel was, like, desperately trying to save all those sick people, and he was, like, killing people out of the view of the other sick people, because he knew that if they saw him killing one of the other sick people, that the sick people would, like, lose hope. And Herschel, like, really cared about this, and he tried to save as many people as he could. And then there was that one episode where a bunch of them started turning, and he had to, like, shotgun them all, and, like, everyone had to view him shotgun them all, and you know, hear him do that, and he broke down into tears over it. That is, like, a sympathetic character. That was fucking brutal. And, like, I guess you can compare it to the backpack with Aaron, but, like, we didn't see any scenes of Aaron, like, being, like, really nice to some of the people who were slaughtered in Alexandria. You know, if we had a scene where Aaron, like, was, like, going around and being like, oh, how you doing, Aaron, how you doing? You know, like, being nice to all the people who were slaughtered during the Wolves attack, then that could have worked really, really well. That reveal where he sees the backpack and he realizes that, oh, fuck, all the people that have just died, all those people I'm friends with, they all died because of me. But we didn't have any scenes with Aaron, like, talking to those people or anything. So him finding that backpack meant nothing to me, because I didn't even know if he cared about those characters. In fact, he was kind of an outcast because he was gay. So, like, does he really give a shit that all these people are slaughtered? I guess kind of a little bit, but, like, in terms of a character moment, I don't care that much. Herschel, though, on the other hand, that was fucking devastating. And then when Herschel gives that little, and then Herschel's goal of that season as well was telling Rick that, you know, we're not too far gone. You know, we get to come back from things. We get to, people can come back. You know, you came back. You're a farmer. We need to be able to forgive people. We need to be able to try and strive for, like, what the world was before. And then we have that scene where Rick's always, like, a little hesitant of it. He's like, I don't know, Herschel, you know. And in that scene with the governor, he's, like, pleading with the governor and saying, like, we get to come back. We're not all too far gone. You know, we get to come back. And Herschel smiles. He gives a smile right as he's cracked with the sword. And that's why Herschel's death is the best death in the show, and why Herschel's character was one of the best characters in the show. Merle is another great example of this. Merle, like, had an ideal. He just wanted to be with his brother. He wanted to, you know, be out there with his brother. But, like, his brother had found these new people. So he gave his life for these assholes who, you know, in his opinion, these assholes who left him to die on a roof, and he had to force cut his own hand off. And these people who, even though he's helping them now, still reject him and don't want him in the thing. For right reasons, don't get me wrong. But, like, he gives his life for those people because those were the people that his brother chose as his new family. Like, Merle and Herschel are the best characters in the show just because they actually have ideals and quirks and character arcs. Like, oh. But Aaron, what the fuck does Aaron have? He doesn't have any of that. And then the other character from season 5 who still remains is fucking Barbara. I am a Barbara stan, right? I do love Barbara, don't get me wrong. I hope Barbara makes it out of season 11, but Jesus Christ. This is the rota we have for season 5. Gabriel, Aaron, and fucking Barbara. The fact that Barbara has made it this far is kind of impressive, though. I gotta give it to her. Yeah. We're not going to count Barbara. There's also a bunch of background characters, but I wasn't going to go through the page of background characters and list, like, all the ones who started showing in season 5. I think there's, like, 3 or 4 that are still in the show to this day from season 5. But we're just doing name characters. So we've got Gabriel, Aaron, and Barbara. And then finally we have season 6. Starting off with the main one, which I don't even know if you can count this as season 6 because he appears right at the end of season 6, but I'll count it anyway, is of course Negan. Okay, you ready for my rant on Negan? I think Negan is fucking overrated, okay? I think a better villain was Alpha, and not Beta, because Beta was just a big brute. But Alpha, I think, was a better villain than Negan. Like, low-key, Alpha is a better villain. I think the Governor is a better villain than Negan. Negan is the most inconsistent character ever. What the hell are Negan's motivations in Season 8? Well, he wants to... Well, Season 7 and 8, I should say. He wants to control groups because he believes that he is saving them. But to introduce himself, he kills one person to introduce himself, to make sure they know that they have to fall in line. But he believes that he is saving the others by doing that. And it's like, okay, makes sense. Not really though, does it? And people often say, well, he only killed one of Rick's group, or two of Rick's group, because Rick's group killed a bunch of his men, which is true. Like, that would have been a fair reason to kill one of Rick's group members. Actually, I think they should have made that the reason. The reason why Negan kills one of Rick's group's members is because Negan they killed a bunch of Negan's men, so he wants revenge, and he's being quite merciful. He's only killing one of them. They killed like 60, and he's killing like one person. That's pretty merciful. I think they should have made that the reason. The issue is with the stuff in season 6 with the hilltop, because they mention that Negan kills Rory, a kid, a 16-year-old at the hilltop, straight off the bat as soon as he met them. So you can't use that defense. Negan was going to kill one of them regardless because they set that up, that he kills someone straight off the bat as soon as he meets a new group. They established that in the hilltop. And they also established that he killed a 16-year-old, a child. And the issue is now they try and make it that Negan was just trying to save people and that was revenge. A lot of fans use this defense like Negan was quite reasonable there, and Negan he had a warped philosophy. He was just trying to like control everyone and to make them produce, and then he would save them if something went wrong. But the issue is, and then the big thing is, they tried to like ram this home with the stuff with Brandon. So when Negan and Brandon were walking through the woods, and then Brandon killed that kid and his mother, and then Negan kills him with the rock. And there's a scene where like Brandon mistakenly thinks that Negan is the one who killed Carl, and Negan's like, I never killed a kid. I would never kill a kid. It's like, what the fuck do you mean you never killed a kid? You killed that Rory dude. He was 16. That's a child, mate. You can't. That is a child. You killed a child with a baseball bat in the hilltop. And this might just be like the writing, like they were inconsistent, and maybe you can make the argument that even though Jesus says it was Negan who killed him, maybe he meant it was one of Negan's lackeys because they are all Negan or whatever. You can maybe make that argument, I guess, but they established that Negan is a bad dude who kills people straight off the bat, right? He kills them when he meets them. So Negan is so inconsistent as a character. And I think he's funny, but he's not nearly as funny as he is in the comic series. And the main reason why that is because he can't swear. You can only say like one F word a season. And they really should have just told get more advertisers. I don't understand how this difficult. Like, you can show like people getting decapitated, people getting their guts ripped out, people like, being like beaten and hit, like children dying. I was gonna say rape, but I don't think there's any of that on The Walking Dead, right? But you could show all this horrific stuff, but a couple of fucks is the thing where the advertisers are like, nah, we're withdrawing from this one now. It's fucking insane to me. But like, Negan really should just be swearing. Like, that's his character. He's just a big man-child. And that's why I really like the Here's Negan episode. They make Negan what he is. He's a giant fucking man-child. Like, that's what he is. He's a man-child who's got a gun. Like, he's insane. That should be his character. You don't have to make it anything else. Like, you could just make it like Negan sees this all a game. He sees this shit as a game, and he likes the power. He wanted to have power before and he couldn't get it, and now he's got power. And I like the Here's Negan episode, but like they try and like justify Negan's past actions like so hard, and it's like, don't just make him regret them all. And they really should have done that. I think maybe hone in on that a bit more in season 10, where he like regrets everything he's done. It's like, shit, okay, I was really immature back then, and I killed people, and I didn't realize the ramifications of that. Yeah, like I think that would have been way better. Just make him a big fucking man child, because at least that's kind of funny. Like this whole like quasi, oh, I'm saving people shit, it just doesn't work. But Negan, I still think, is a lot of fun. So I am glad that Negan is still around. I don't think they should have killed him. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe that, but I do enjoy Negan for the most part. Don't get me wrong, but I do have issues with him, and I do think he is overrated. We also have Scott from season 6, a background character, so that doesn't really count. Everyone says he's the king of the background characters, but I generally think Barbara is the queen of the background characters. All right, she's been there since season 5. But we have Scott. There's no character for Scott. Scott had a son at one point called Jonah, I think. I think he was called Jonah. Or Marcus? No, it's Marcus. He had a son called Marcus in the flashback episode, and we never seen Scott's son ever again. So I don't know what the fuck happened to Scott's son. But Scott is a nothing character. We also have Bertie from the Hilltop. Yeah, it's getting better. And then we have Kyle from Alexandria. Background characters. So from the first half of the show, we're in season 11, so I'm saying the first half is, I guess, actually, let's be fair, the first half of season 6, well, there's quite a few episodes in season 11, so I'll be nice, and I'll allow the show to have all of season 6. We've got Daryl and Carol, that makes 2. We got Maggie, that makes 3. Judith, who I'm not going to count because she's not a character in season 9. She's a prop until season 9. Season 4, we have Eugene and Rosita. That's 5. Season 5, we have Gabriel and Aaron. That's 7. And Barbara. I mean, sure, I'll count Barbara. No, I'm not counting Barbara. She's a background character. We can't count her. We got 7. And then we got Negan, Scott, Bertie, and Kyle. So 8. I'm not counting Scott. You know what? I'll count Scott. I'll be nice. I'll count Scott and Barbara. Even if I count Scott and Barbara and Bertie and Kyle, that's 12 characters. 12 characters that we have got from over half a decade of show. We've got 12 characters left, 4 of which are background characters. So 8. We've got 8 characters remaining. 8 main characters, like 8 characters who you could say actually do have a character. We have remaining. 8 is such a small number, and considering like we're across like a few seasons, it's ridiculous that we don't have any more than that. And it's not like we need that many more. We just need someone from season 1. The best thing they could have done is Andrew Lincoln stayed around, but Andrew Lincoln had been there for a long time. You can kind of understand why he wanted to dip, but I think a good replacement for Andrew Lincoln, are you ready, would have been Carl Grimes. And if they really wanted to, I probably wouldn't have loved it, recast him, because Chandler Riggs is fucking awful at acting. Like I like Chandler Riggs as, I guess, as a person. I guess like I think he seems like a nice dude. And I watched his like Twitch streams a few times, but like I think he's a cool dude, but like he's not very good at acting, and I think he progressively gets worse. Like I generally think his worst acting is in season 8, and yeah, season 8 he's season 7 he's really bad in season 7. Season 8 he does have that good moment. I think his last episode he actually did a really good performance. I think Chandler Riggs was really good in his final 2 episodes, but the stuff before that in season 7 was abysmal. But yeah, just recast Chandler Riggs, or keep Chandler Riggs around and just like age him up a little bit and hope for the best. But like I just really think they should have kept Carl around after Rick went. That would have been the better solution, I think. I think I could have enjoyed it a bit more. And obviously keep Maggie around. I know Denai Guerrero wanted to leave, so you kind of can't keep Michonne around, sadly. But yeah, and I really think they should have kept Abraham, because imagine if we had all 3 of these dudes. I think they would have been great. Actually, tell you what, no, kill Rosita off. I don't care for Rosita. Kill Rosita off in, I don't know, season 9. I don't know. Kill her off in season 9 or something, or kill her off in season 7, or I don't care. Just kill her off and bring Abraham in. Abraham and Eugene. That should have been the power team right there. Abraham should have been still around. From season 5, I would have liked maybe, I don't really know who they could have kept around. I guess Jesus from season 6. Like, again, the actor wanted to leave, though. It's tricky when actors want to leave. I can understand why. They can't really write around that. But I think, like, it would have been so fixed if they just didn't kill Carl and didn't kill Abraham. Like, I'm sure Michael Cutlitz would still be up for the show. Like, I'm sure he would have still been up for it to this point. He's directing episodes, so I don't think he's, like, disinterested in the show anymore. So I think Michael Cutlitz should have been kept around as Abraham, and Chandler Riggs should have been kept around as Carl, and I think that would have just improved. Like, generally having those two characters not die, I generally think that would have improved the show just, like, tremendously, because you can't really control for Rick leaving, so he wanted to leave. I just think that would have been the better solution. And that are all the characters that are still around from the first half of the show, but not even the first half of the show, because technically Negan appears right at the end. So really all we've got is Scott from this one. I don't know when Kyle first appeared. So I've watched the first episode. I enjoyed the first episode of season 11. I think it's pretty damn good. I think it's a really good premiere, actually. But I'm still a little iffy. So tell me your thoughts. What do you think about the lacking of main characters from the first half of the show? Tell me your thoughts about my opinions on my rants that I've said in this one. Tell me what you agree on. Tell me what you disagree. If you think Negan is a really awesome character and, like, the best villain, please tell me why I'm wrong. And yeah, that will be it for this video. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, tell me your thoughts, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.